Greed is a slow poison, traveling through the tides of estuaries and fed into the limestone to spray around the aquifer.
My brother was a responsibility that I never wanted, but I took it up with such haste when his doe eyes and dimpled chin made me fall in love.
It's carried by the undertow to all the continent's shores, reaching the open ends, the greasy flesh of humanity's pores.
A kind of love that made me want to protect him from the world, because I know he has a sensitive soul.
It sways around our world in gentle waves and rapid tsunamis.
I couldn't help but feel the buzz of anger hum through my body, or the discreet threats I made to the kids that dared to make fun of the way he spoke, in soft tones and slowly formed sentences.
To be purified by the county and pumped through our pipes, out of our clueless faucets, filled into glasses, meeting the thirst of our generation.
He was a responsibility that I never wanted, but he is now, and I promise my wrath will always wrap around his sensitive soul. I promise I'll be the thorns to his beautiful and blooming rose.
I bleed the color black, ashy like cinder-covered hands, with fingers that drip with running beads of sweat.
Kids used to dream of doing great things, becoming astronauts, presidents, princesses, and more.
My talons grip my fletchings. I embrace them to my chest, and let them hear the chronic drum beats between my breasts, the serenading echoes that is my heartbeats.
If you tell a kid he has to take off his shirt to be an astronaut, he'll be shirtless immediately. The drive and effort given to be such things as a child is great and immeasurable.
I want them to be like me. Let them be like me with proud hearts and swelling minds, and broad shoulders rising like hills, and heads held high atop mountains.
But as we grow, we get to a point where our lives are best when it is easiest.
I want to make love to them, when my reflection I see in them, in the creases of their foreheads and their twitching lips, in the dips of their spines and the curves of their hips, and their eyes where the seed of their sin and their guilt lie hidden.
Tell a teenager that to be an astronaut, he needs 10 years of training, he'll rethink his dreams. The want and effort disappear.
Concealed under colors of shame, where tears masquerade a dance of pity, a faucet of victimhood to pierce blame onto someone else. It was my fault, I admit it. I devoured my children, slowly and surely, left them weak wills and hollow sentiment, left them doubts and lies and half-truths, let them think that arrogance meant rewards, and violence an act of love, an act of care, that living was winning and losing was dying, that fear and vanity and death were the only constants. I wanted them to be like me. Let them be like me, with black hearts and sorrowful minds.
32, 24, 36. These numbers are said to be the perfect measurements of a woman.
God forbade lust for a reason. It wasn't because he had something against orgasms or because he didn't want a teenage girl to get her to know her body. No one ever went to hell
32,
for
24,
masturbating.
Bigger breasts, skinny waists, and larger hips. This is what they call the hourglass. Both women and men are blinded by what they see on television and magazines, and no one bothers to take a second glance at those that don't reach these expectations.
The crime isn't wanting sex.
32, 24,
The crime is
36.
against the 16-year-old girl who was stabbed to death because she rejected a date to prom. The crime is a 42-year-old man clicking on an ad that says he can watch children online in exchange for his bank
Bigger
account
breasts,
number.
skinny waists, and larger Women without the perfect sizes are trapped in minds that tell them that they aren't good enough. Many girls walk around the city and are filled with jealousy of those that look like dolls.
The crime is that women are not allowed to feed their babies in public because their breasts have been labeled as objects used for a man's pleasure.
24, 36. As Mia walks into the fitting room, these numbers repeat in her head. She stares at the mirror for a moment, thinking to herself, why can't I be like that? Bigger breasts, skinny waists, and larger hips. The people she refers to are the gorgeous women she saw in the magazine. And as she begins to undress, she hears laughter and is suddenly worried. 32, 24, 36. Many girls are envious of those with the hourglass figure. Their profiles aren't perfect and they hate their reflection. They want to be loved, but the only way they could receive it is if they follow the stereotype. Girls with this body shape are admired by many. Girls who are unable to reach it retreat to the shadows where no one can find them. 32, Society has ruined everything and caused many ladies to sin. They don't want to accept themselves for who they truly are. No matter what they do, their minds are filled with jealousy and nothing can stop them. Feeling
God
terrible
forbade
about
lust
herself.
not to make sex a taboo.
That no one would
Protect
ever
those
love her
that
for
are
who she
wronged
is.
in the name of a man's pride.
32, 24,
Waiting
36.
for the day that they'll be both accepted and loved.